This episode is brought to you by King of Beards. This is my online shop where you can find high quality products that will help you grow a strong, healthy beard that not only looks great, but also will smell great as well. Definitely the people in your life that like to get up and close with you are gonna thank you for this one. These are products that I use personally. The link is below in the video description section, and if you use my coupon code KING, you'll get 15% off on your first order.
The term haram refers to things that are strictly forbidden in Islam. However, there are things in Islam that may not necessarily be strictly forbidden, but are frowned upon or displeasing according to Islamic rules. These things fall into a category known as makruh, which are acts not legally forbidden, but really discouraged. We start off at number 10, having pets. As a general Islamic ruling, animals that are harmful by nature are not permissible to be kept as pets, like snakes and scorpions and other animals like that. But animals that are generally not harmful are permissible to keep unless specified otherwise. Muslims in the past have had non-predatory birds and pigeons as pets, as well as guinea pigs and hamsters are generally non-harmful animals. So domesticating these type of animals as pets will not be considered haram. And what a lot of Muslims do is that they have a separate place of prayer in their home, just so that the pets aren't mingling in their prayer space. For number 9, we look at swearing. Now, swearing is considered an immoral act, and although it's not considered haram, it is disliked and frowned upon. In the hadith, Bukhari and Muslim, it states that Ibn Masud narrated that the Prophet Muhammad said these words: "Swearing to a Muslim is a debauchery and an immoral act, and killing a Muslim is an act of kufr." So you see, such behavior like swearing contradicts the complete faith of a person who does so. Also, Ibn Masud narrated that the Prophet Muhammad said these words: "A Muslim is not a person who slanders, curses, speaks obscene words, or is abusive." And the Hadith Bukhari also reported that Abdullah bin Umar narrated that the Prophet Muhammad said, "A Muslim is a person whom all Muslims are safe from his tongue and hands." Number 8, eating with the left hand. The majority of Islamic scholars state that eating and drinking with your right hand is recommended and rewarded, and is undesirable to eat or drink using your left hand when not necessary. Now, some people actually have a real problem that prevents them from using their right hand, such as being paralyzed or simply being left-handed. In this case, they are excused and there is no blame put on them. In one hadith by Al-Nawawi, it said, "If he has an excuse for not eating and drinking with his right hand, such as sickness or an injury, then this is not makruh." Next up, let's look at proposing to an engaged woman. If a person has proposed to a woman, it is not permitted for anyone else to offer a proposal to her because of the hadith of Ibn Umar, which states that the Prophet Muhammad said, "No man should offer a proposal or marriage over the proposal of his brother until the first one gives up or gives him permission." Now, Al-Tirmidhi reported that the meaning of this hadith is this: if a man proposes to a woman and she likes him and she accepts a proposal, no one else should propose to her after that. But if he, the second man, does not know that she liked and accepted that proposal, well, then there's nothing wrong with his proposing to her. Number 6 takes us to smoking. Scholars all over the world, they differ on which word is used to rule out cigarettes. Is it haram? Is it makruh? Is it permissible? Some say it is absolutely haram because it is a slow method of killing yourself, which is haram in Islam, as well as for other reasons relating to health and the odor that it emits and how it interferes with other people. But generally speaking, the best opinion regarding smoking is that it is makruh or disliked, since there is not enough evidence to say that smoking is haram. And makruh, by the way, like I mentioned in part 1, is a disliked act that is very close to haram, but not necessarily haram.
Number 5, we have vegetable glycerin, also known as glycerol. It's used in food products as well as pharmaceuticals and cosmetics. As a food additive, glycerin has several different purposes. It's used for retaining moisture and extending product shelf life, and it gives certain products like granola bars, cookies, and candies, and ice cream a creamy texture. You can find it in canned, frozen, and processed dried fruits, and this is used to prevent them from drying out. whether it's fruits or vegetables. It stops it from drying out. Glycerin can come from animals and plants. And animal glycerin is considered to be mashbu, meaning it is unclear if the food is halal or haram. So it's unclear whether or not animal-derived glycerin is halal or not. However, synthetic glycerin and vegetable-sourced glycerin considered completely halal. Next up, let's look at vegetable emulsifiers. Emulsifiers are used as food additives to aid admissible liquids, which are liquids that can't combine and mix together, like in the case of water and oil. And this helps it form a stable mixture. They are used in baking food products as well as salad dressings and certain snacks in order to prolong their shelf life and improve their overall taste and appearance. The most popular emulsifiers are MAG and DAG, which are considered halal when derived from plant-based sources. From there, we look at enzymes. Now, enzymes are naturally found in living organisms. They speed up specific reactions in these organisms while producing a few byproducts. Now, the food industry, of course, has taken advantage of enzymes in order to cut down on food production cost, food production time. They limit waste with this, as well as improve texture and taste, among other uses. With bioengineering, microbial enzymes as well as animal enzymes are being produced. And bioengineered enzymes are more compatible with halal food production since they are easier to control. Here's another big one. Sugar alcohol comes in at number 2. When you read the labels of sugar-free candy, you probably see certain ingredients like sorbitol and maltitol, which are a type of sugar alcohol. Now, sugar alcohols are modified carbohydrates. Now, they occur naturally in plants and are mostly manufactured from sugar and starch, and they are used in sugar substitutes in many sugar-free or low-sugar foods. They're found in chewing gums, protein bars, as well as pudding, and they're put in there in order for the food to still taste sweet without adding any sugar to them. But here's the thing, they do not contain alcohol, ethanol, but they fall into that class because, like all compounds in this class on a chemistry level, sugar alcohol contains a hydroxyl group. But they are halal and have been approved in many Muslim countries. We end this episode off with wine vinegar. Vinegars are made from a pure substance which converts into an alcoholic base. The alcoholic base within itself is haram to consume, but once it transforms into vinegar, it becomes halal. Now, why is this? Well, the making of wine vinegar involves a double fermentation process where the vinegar first undergoes fermentation into a wine-like alcoholic liquid and then turns into vinegar, which is non-alcoholic. So according to Islamic law, this process through which wine changes to vinegar is referred to as inqilab, and that means change, which makes it halal. However, if the vinegar is converted directly from a wine distillery or other alcoholic beverage companies, then it would be haram. Now, this is based on a hadith of Anas bin Malik that says, I asked the Messenger of Allah, can wine be used for vinegar? He said no. And that's found in Sahih Jami al-Tirmidhi 1294. And then there's another hadith that says, Umar said, there is nothing wrong with a man buying vinegar from the people of the book if they sell it, so long as he knows that they did not deliberately process it from wine. And that's found in Al-Mughni 8330. So that's the big thing. If it was just made into alcohol and then afterwards changed into vinegar, then no, it's haram. But if the process of making it to vinegar, there's going to be a time where it was alcoholic, but then it fully changed into non-alcoholic, then it's completely halal.
Delaying the Asr prayer. This is the afternoon prayer in Islam, and it was narrated in the hadith by Anas that the Prophet Muhammad said this: if any one of you forgets a prayer or sleeps and misses it, then let him pray it whenever he remembers it. And this is found in the Hadith al-Bukhari and Muslim. So based on this, it is not haram to delay the Asr prayer till the sun changes the color of the sky. However, you would have missed the rewards for performing it in the preferred time period. Number 9, this is a big one, rushing during prayer. The ruling on this is that if reading fast makes you not articulate the words properly and or changes the meaning of the verses that you're reciting during the salat or prayer, then the prayer will be invalid. But if the meaning is actually not changed, then the prayer is still valid. However, you don't get any of the rewards from the prayer except for just the amount of time that you were actually focused during that prayer. Fasting on Eid-ul-Fitr comes next. Although fasting is considered a righteous act in Islam, there are times when fasting is considered prohibited or discouraged according to the majority of Sunni Muslim scholars. Now, it is said that the Prophet Muhammad forbade Muslims from fasting on the day of Eid-ul-Fitr since it is a day to feast. Alright guys, number 7 brings us an interesting one. Using gold or silver utensils. In the Hadith, Bukhari and Muslim, it says this: "The Messenger of Allah said, do not drink from silver or gold utensils, and do not eat in plates made from them, for they are for them, disbelievers, in this world, and for us in the hereafter." However, though, it is permissible to keep them as investments for decoration or other purposes. Number 6 brings us to buying and selling at the time of ADHAN, or the call to prayer. Now, in the 9th verse of Surah Al-Jumu'ah, it says this: "O you who believe, when the call is made for prayer on Friday, then hasten to remember Allah and leave your trade."